Welcome to this explainer. When you picture the whole California real estate dream, you probably imagine like stunning coastlines or bustling cities, right? But while millions are desperately searching for affordable housing, they're completely missing this massive, hidden sector of the market operating right under our noses. So today, we're pulling back the curtain. We're going to explore the hidden complexities of California's mobile home and manufactured housing market, a system that honestly operates entirely in the shadows of traditional real estate. So I want you to really think about this for a second. Let's say you're browsing an online listing. You find this beautiful manufactured home in a sunny California park, and you decide, hey, I'm going to put in an offer. Is buying that mobile home just like buying a standard single-family house? Like, do the exact same rules apply? Well, the answer is a resounding no. No way. It is a completely different system. In fact, assuming it's the same is exactly how buyers, sellers, and even really seasoned real estate agents get themselves into serious trouble. Because right behind the scenes of these transactions exists this parallel legal and financial universe. We're talking about strict park rules, unique financing hurdles, specialized state registrations, and buyer approval processes that look absolutely nothing like standard real estate. Okay, let's move to Section 1, the hidden real estate system, owning homes versus leasing land. All right, let's dive into this hidden system. To really understand mobile homes in California, you first have to grasp the fundamental divide of the market. It's all about the difference between what you own and where that ownership sits. And this brings us to a really critical concept: space rent. See, you might buy the physical structure, the house itself, but you aren't actually buying the dirt underneath it. Instead, you lease that space from the park. Space rent, or park fees as you might hear it called, is the monthly fee you pay to the park owner for that plot of land. Why does this matter so much? Because space rent can dramatically affect your overall affordability. It is literally the biggest recurring cost buyers absolutely must calculate. And if it's not rent controlled, man, it can change the entire financial reality of the purchase. So what you essentially have here is called a leasehold interest. You have the legal right to use and occupy the park space, but again, you don't own the underlying land. Buying the home but leasing the land completely shifts the whole transaction away from traditional real estate rules. You are essentially a homeowner and a tenant at the exact same time. It's wild. There is just a stark contrast between these two worlds. In traditional real estate, you know the drill. You deal with county property taxes, and crucially, your land generally appreciates in value over time. But with a mobile home on leased land, your home might actually be registered with the DMV or the Department of Housing and Community Development, much like a car or an RV. You generally don't get that traditional land appreciation, and instead, you're facing ongoing space rent increases. Traditional homeowners have independent ownership, whereas mobile homeowners really have to navigate park management control and strict community rules. It's just a total paradigm shift. Which brings us to Section 2, the rule book, the mobile home residency law. Now, because of this really unique homeowner-tenant dynamic, there has to be a specific set of rules, right? Enter the California Mobile Home Residency Law, or the MRL, basically the ultimate homeowner shield. It outlines all the core protections. For instance, it dictates strict rules around evictions. You can't just be kicked out without a specific documented cause. It also lays out exactly what park management is responsible for maintaining, how utility billing absolutely must be handled transparently, and it guarantees your right to access common areas. So yes, park management holds a lot of power, but that power is heavily regulated by this very specific, comprehensive law. And this brilliantly illustrates just how dynamic this sector is, because the MRL is undergoing massive updates for 2026. Just consider these changes. For the first time ever, email notices are legally allowed with written consent, finally modernizing communication, right? There are also brand new protections regarding cooling systems, which is huge given California's extreme heat. We're seeing major new safeguards for disasters and wildfires, plus vital updates to resale rules and the MRL protection program itself. These 2026 updates drastically affect how residents live, how buyers buy, and how investors operate in this entire space. All right, Section 3, the money maze, navigating unique financing rules. Okay, so we understand the land and the laws, but now we hit the next major hurdle, the money. Welcome to the money maze, and I gotta warn you right now, traditional 30-year fixed mortgages, they rarely apply when you're buying a home inside a park on leased land. So the absolute crucial point here is understanding this term, the chattel loan. Because the home is considered personal property rather than real property, when the land isn't attached, traditional banks often just won't touch it.
Instead, buyers use a chattel loan, which is specifically a personal property loan. This is the most common reality for buyers who are leasing their park space, and these loans often come with totally different interest rates and terms than your standard mortgage. Now, which loan you can actually get depends entirely on a pretty strict matrix of requirements. You've got chattel loans, FHA Title I loans, conventional manufactured home financing, and of course, cash-only scenarios. But to qualify, you have to ask some big questions. Does the home have a permanent foundation? Is it HUD certified? What year was it built? Age restrictions alone can totally kill financing. And crucially, what are the park rules? Some parks literally won't even approve certain types of financing. It is a highly specialized matrix that buyers have got to navigate perfectly.
Which leads into Section 4, the pitfalls, avoiding common buyer mistakes.
Because this financing matrix is so complex, mistakes kill deals every single day. Whether you're a buyer looking for an affordable home or an agent trying to expand your business, you absolutely must master these crucial verifications to survive. Step 1, verify the exact space rent and utility costs. And definitely check the local rent control status. Step 2, you cannot skip checking park approvals. Many parks have really strict age restrictions, like 55+ communities, or strict pet restrictions. Step 3, this is a huge one, confirming the title and registration with the Department of Housing and Community Development, or HCD. Skipping this is disastrous. I mean, you could inherit back fees and penalties. And finally, Step 4, always validate the tax status. Seriously, navigating these steps carefully is literally the difference between a total nightmare and a successful purchase.
And finally, Section 5, the future of California affordability. So why is learning all of this so incredibly valuable? Well, let's pivot to the massive opportunity at hand here. Because despite the complex financing and the distinct laws, this sector is rapidly becoming the absolute frontier of affordable housing. Look, we all know about California's severe affordability crisis, right? Traditional homeownership is just slipping out of reach for so many people. Combine that with a booming trend of retirees looking to downsize to coastal or sunny communities without, breaking the bank. This is creating rising opportunities for investors and putting a massive spotlight on resident protections. Agents and buyers who actually take the time to understand this hidden system, they have a massive, undeniable advantage in today's market. Which brings us to this incredibly powerful summarizing thought based on everything we've looked at today. In a state where affordability continues to disappear, mobile home housing may become one of the most important parts of California real estate. It's no longer just a niche. It is a critical pillar of housing access for millions of people. So after pulling back the curtain on space rent, the MRL, chattel loans, and the massive opportunities hiding in plain sight, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. Knowing what you know now about this parallel real estate system, would you ever buy a mobile home in California? Think about it and keep exploring. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.